appreciate all of you joining me to celebrate for Salt Lake City the launching of our 5,000 Doors initiative. What I have standing with me here, 20-some individuals who are representing our partners who since July 2014 have helped shape and develop this initiative. And I want to thank them for joining me in these efforts and for their commitment. So thank you all. In fact, while I'm not going to mention all of them, let me just say I'm going to be giving some remarks. Then Mike Ackerlow, who heads up our housing and neighborhood development efforts in the city, will be giving some remarks, and of course will be available to answer questions. But these 20 individuals represent folks who have been working with us intensively now on this 5,000 Doors initiative, and they're housing developers, financial institutions, housing advocates, service providers, federal agencies, and community development organizations. So housing, of course, we all know is a foundation for a successful city. And housing that is affordable is what creates vibrant, economically diverse neighborhoods that residents want to live in. It establishes stability for working families, for recent college graduates, for seniors and single parents, and it helps them all work towards a better life. Housing is not affordable for too many Salt Lake City residents. We have been working for many years on how to best identify, assess, and come up with a comprehensive approach to bridge that gap. It's reflected best in a housing policy that's been adopted by the city through our city council. I know we have some of our city council members here, so I thank them for their work on that. And it has resulted in a continuous effort that often goes unnoticed because it blends into the fabric of our city, all across our city, with affordable housing. Just this last year, our Housing Trust Fund provided more than 500 affordable residents and housing units. We are working to establish here, of course, a more livable city. And affordable housing is a key to that, along with mobility, and along with, of course, many other factors. Sugar House here is a great example of what happens when you provide the full range of support around housing that makes affordable housing truly work. So when we have housing, it's part of this larger, really, equation of success for a livable city that includes mobility and having mobility options. And here with the Sugar House streetcar line, we've added another option for people in the last couple of years. It also means having easy access to services and the kinds of activities people want in a walkable neighborhood. The increasing inequality in our city forces more and more of our residents to spend a higher and higher percentage of their income on housing costs. And the need for affordable housing is increasing. That's due largely to housing costs that are increasing faster than incomes, residents spending more of their income on housing, and the supply not keeping up with demand. We are launching an ambitious effort to tackle Salt Lake City's lack of affordable housing options for low-income families, persons with disabilities, fixed-income individuals, and persons who are underemployed or unemployed. So along with our partners today, we launch 5,000 Doors in 5 years. 5,000 Doors is an affordable housing initiative that addresses the city's housing shortages for those in need of affordable housing. It preserves the city's existing affordable housing stock and creates new affordable units that strengthens the city's relationships with our housing partners, financial institutions, and foundations. Through the 5,000 Doors housing initiative and other strategic efforts, Salt Lake City is planning for the future to ensure that Salt Lake City is a place where everyone, from our most vulnerable residents to middle-class families, has an affordable place to call home. And this is really, as you can tell with the folks who are behind me and who have shared in this effort, this is in the true spirit of collaboration that I think is at the essence of the success that we have in our city. It's private individuals, it's private organizations, it's private developers and financial institutions, and it's also public organizations, our public governments at all levels of government, whether that is our local governments with partners obviously within Salt Lake City, within Salt Lake County and others, whether it's in the state, at the state level where there's an ambitious housing program as well, or whether it's with our federal partners who often go unnoticed but provide essential efforts through either direct funding to the city, through particularly the Community Development Block Grant and related federal programs, or through tax programs that really help cement the partnership that we have at the local level. Behind me here is this great example, that's Liberty Village Apartments. We are very fortunate to have in this community the developer of these apartments, Dan Lofgren. He's been dedicated to high-quality, affordable housing throughout Salt Lake City for at least the past 27 years. And he's created this incredible niche that we have for developing quality, affordable housing and condominium housing. The Liberty Village Apartment Project receives support from our redevelopment agency. I know we've got many members of our board who also serve as our city council here, as well as DJ Baxter and the staff. And they provided some land acquisition money as well as a loan from the Housing Trust Fund to provide 35 affordable units. After the press conference, there are going to be tours of these units that will be offered in the lobby behind me. I also want to tell just quickly the story of someone who's close to us in the mayor's office and who's a prime example of who we're targeting to help through this affordable housing program. Lillian Cesena was born in this country. Her mother wasn't from the U.S. And we got to know her because she served as an intern in our office. And this story has been written up in Westview. So those of you who are familiar with that periodical from the west side of Salt Lake City, they provide some great information on their neighborhoods and for a lot of us in the city. Liliana was born in San Diego. Her mother moved here with many children as a single mom when she was very, very young. She learned English quickly and through the Guadalupe School. Her brother served on an Iraq tour. When her mother decided to seek citizenship, she was handcuffed and deported. Liliana, with her siblings, decided that this was their home and they were going to stay despite this incredible challenge for them with a separated family. Thanks to her incredible devotion and really the devotion of many around her, she got a scholarship to Judge Memorial High School and graduated with honors there and went on to Westminster and the University of Utah. Had it not been for the assistance of programs like we have through our housing program, she would not have had the ability to gain this incredible success story that she's achieved. Now I'd really like to turn the time over to Mike Ackerlow. Mike and his team here, Nicole Bordeaux and Tammy, have done really an incredible job of shaping for the city both a much greater understanding of our housing and housing needs in the city and where those gaps are, and then coming up with what we believe is going to be this incredible strategy with our partners to achieve this goal of 5,000 doors in 5 years. So Mike, thank you.
Good morning. Thank you for coming out to this important and exciting announcement today. As I look around, I recognize many faces of those who are committed to improving the lives of the citizens of Salt Lake City. and thank you for your hard work and your dedication to this important endeavor. As the Director of Housing and Neighborhood Development for Mayor Becker, I join with him in expressing not only our excitement for this new housing initiative, but also our commitment to making affordable housing a part of every neighborhood as we continue to build a beautiful, diverse, and successful city. Before I talk about the actual housing initiative, 5,000 Doors, I want to begin by talking about actual doors. Perhaps the doors that we each have to our individual homes. I know for me that after a long, hard day, one of the most comforting things I can do is to step through the door of my own home. A home is a place where we feel a sense of safety and security, where we can shut out the worries of the outside world, where we can invite our friends and family, a place where we can heal and be loved. Unfortunately, too many Salt Lake City residents aren't able to experience that security, that comfort or sense of peace when they walk through their door because of the extra burden they carry from excessive housing costs or a home that is deteriorating and unsafe. Some, such as those experiencing homelessness, may not have a door to walk through at all. Mayor Becker mentioned that similar to cities across the country, Salt Lake City is experiencing increasing economic inequality, forcing more and more residents to spend a higher percentage of their income on housing costs. Housing is affordable to anyone if they spend no more than 30% of their income to live there. Spending anything beyond that means they are burdened by excessive housing costs. In Salt Lake City, 50% of our renters and 34% of our homeowners are exceeding that 30% benchmark. Even more alarming is that a quarter of Salt Lake City renters are spending over 50% of their income on housing costs. As a result of these high housing costs, many of our residents and their families are not able to afford basic needs such as quality food, access to health care, transportation, education, or recreation. Finding housing that is affordable in Salt Lake City is especially difficult for our very low-income renters who live on a fixed income. Due to the lack of opportunities for affordable housing, residents are forced to rent housing they cannot afford or share housing, causing overcrowded conditions. The incomes of homeowners and renters are not keeping up with the significant increase in housing costs. Residents are spending more of their income on rent and homeownership. And the supply of affordable housing product is certainly not keeping up with the demand. As mentioned by Mayor Becker, 5,000 Doors is Salt Lake City's focused and collaborative effort to address our growing need for affordable housing for low-wage and moderate-income families, persons with disabilities, and those on a fixed income. The objective of this initiative is the creation and preservation of 5,000 affordable homes in Salt Lake City over the next 5 years. 5,000 Doors will support Salt Lake City residents with a range of incomes, as well as increase economic diversity within our neighborhoods. This initiative will create new housing stock, preserve the existing affordable housing, and strengthen our relationships with housing partners, financial institutions, and foundations as we work together to reach these goals. Half of the 5,000 Doors will be for those families who are making less than $28,000 per year, or for individuals making less than $19,000 per year. Over the past several months, the staff of Housing and Neighborhood Development have worked closely with all those who stand up here with me today, as well as many of you, advocates for affordable housing, those who provide financial subsidies, who build homes and apartments for low-income families and individuals, and who operate shelter and other services for our homeless friends, to identify targets and explore funding opportunities to reach our ambitious goals. Working hand in hand, we are committing ourselves to not only continue what we are doing, but to push ourselves a little farther, to demand a little more, and to exhaust every possible way to make these goals a reality. 5,000 Doors focuses primarily on 3 areas: new housing development, preservation of existing affordable housing, and providing housing assistance to homeowners and renters. Over the next 5 years, we expect to see new affordable multifamily units built together with market rate units in all areas of Salt Lake City. We will see new affordable single-family homes in areas of high opportunity and the creation of permanent supportive housing for homeless individuals and families. 5,000 Doors will also focus on preserving affordable housing that already exists in our neighborhoods so that it stays affordable, and those who live there can be in a safe and healthy living environment. The city's Housing Trust Fund will continue to be a source of funding to rehabilitate apartment buildings so they can expand affordable housing opportunities in Salt Lake. And 5,000 Doors will provide housing assistance to those who may need a little help with the down payment for a new home, a low-cost mortgage, and tenant and project-based rental assistance for an apartment. Some of you may be asking whether this can really be done in Salt Lake City. As the mayor mentioned before, this building behind us, Liberty Village, built and developed by Cowboy Partners, has 35 units available to an individual making less than $24,000 a year, or a family making less than $34,000 a year. These units are mixed in with market rate apartments and have a waiting list over 100 people. Art Space recently developed the Commons and Solar Gardens, which have affordable housing units in addition to commercial space, making the possibility of live-work a reality. These buildings are certainly catalysts for more development in underserved areas. Among the various affordable projects of Wasatch development is Providence Place, a 125-unit, 7-story building in downtown Salt Lake that is limited to those making $44,000 or less. And Give Development's project, North 6th, consisting of 115 units for a wide range of incomes, for those coming out of homelessness to those making over 6 figures. And yes, they're all in the same building. In addition, we have the great work being done by NeighborWorks, Community Development Corporation, Assist, Salt Lake City Housing and Neighborhood Development, our housing authorities, and many others. Today, we call on all developers in Salt Lake City to do as these have done and find ways to include affordable housing in every project, and we invite you to come to us for help. So how will this ambitious effort be financed? There are many effective and necessary options available, such as low-income housing tax credits, the Olin Walker and Salt Lake City Housing Trust Funds, federal programs such as Community Development Block Grants and Home Funds, Community Reinvestment Act allocations from our lending institutions, all of which come to support the goals of 5,000 Doors. However, we know that some of these funding sources have declined significantly over the past few years, and so we will work diligently to be creative and find new opportunities and better ways to leverage funds to cover development and operational costs. Finally, to assist us in tracking progress, outlining the initiative, and provide more information, I encourage you to visit our website, slc5000doors.com. We've also created our first edition of the 5,000 Doors Affordable Housing Reference Guide, which is a tool for developers of affordable housing, homeowners looking to purchase or preserve their home, and renters looking for affordable housing options. This reference guide can be also found on the 5,000 Doors website. I want to thank all of those who are with me today who have committed to providing doors to those most in need. These partners are signing a pledge that you can see displayed in the back, where they have agreed to collaborate, promote, and participate in the creation and preservation of affordable housing in Salt Lake City. We invite you to sign the pledge as well as a commitment to affordable housing. Mother Teresa said, "I can do things you cannot. You can do things I cannot. But together, we can do great things." I know that together, we are going to do great things for the people of Salt Lake City who deserve an affordable place that they can call home. Thank you.
Thank you, Mike, and really thank you to all of our partners. And I particularly appreciate people taking a lot of time out of their day, their work day, to come and join us. You can tell that at the heart of what we do here when it comes to addressing housing, as is true in a lot of other arenas, it comes down to folks coming together from a lot of different arenas in our community, for people getting creative and people finding solutions. And we're seeing that reflected here with the 5,000 Doors Initiative. So thank you all for joining us. And I want to invite anyone who can to please come to Liberty Village. If you need a unit while you're here, I'm sure Dan will take care of you. But also to just see really the quality that's reflected in our affordable housing in Salt Lake City. So thank you all for being here.